We are live. What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the stream. Thank you all so much for being here. Everybody that's tuning in at this time, thanks so much. Take time out of your day. Anybody watching this on the replay, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. So, another day, another bad Lakers loss. Just getting further and further behind. No Russ tonight. No Austin Reaves. No Anthony Davis, obviously. And yeah, we got completely just trounced by the Sacramento Kings. LeBron chimed in with 31, 11 assists and 6 rebounds. So he was solid. He was great tonight. You had Schroeder, Lonnie, and Bryant all kind of contributing. Even Beverly actually had a pretty solid night, surprisingly. But couldn't stop anybody, couldn't get anything done, and they just ran through us. It's about as simple a way to put it as possible. Let's dive right into the chat because there's not really much to say about this game, right? What did we expect LeBron to do? We shouldn't be relying on this man LeBron to save us all the time. He's about to be 38. Only reason why we are in the game was because of LeBron. Yeah, exactly. Agreed. You can only do so much. He's only one man. The Lakers shooting as good as the Stormtroopers in Star Wars. They might actually be better, which is surprising. The Lakers are so bad, man. It's crazy. It is. It's just, it's hard to do these live streams at times, man, because it's just like I gotta go and relive this. But hey, we're here. I can't stand watching Patrick Beverly try to run the offense. I know he's offensively terrible and needs to go. I don't really like it either. He had a solid game. He wasn't great, but he wasn't bad. He had 13 points. He shot the ball pretty well. But again, it's nothing major, nothing that's really contributing to winning. Man, I feel bad for Braun. His 2 stars are out, and he can't carry a team anymore. We know this since last year. We're going to find out a lot about Rob Mancini very soon, Tyler. I agree. We're going to see what they want to do, what the plan is. Is there a plan to help LeBron, or is it to just call it a season? I was talking about this in on the Lakers show live stream, and I think that this is a good point to talk about here because I didn't really mention it. But I wonder if part of the reason the Lakers want a second opinion on Anthony Davis is trade related. I wonder if they are looking at it as we don't want to make a trade unless we know undoubtedly that Anthony Davis is coming back and that his injury isn't severe. So maybe they're just doing their due diligence so that way they can, go and maybe make a trade, make a move. That's kind of the hope, that, maybe they'll get that extra confirmation and go, okay, let's make a trade. Anthony Davis will be back in a month, try to weather the storm. And then, we could have Anthony Davis come back and be a legit team again. Maybe it's at least a thought, but, I don't know. It's rough. Nonetheless, regardless, whatever it is, it's rough. Because if Anthony Davis is hurt, I just he's going to be out for a specific amount of time. I just don't see, I don't see the Lakers making any moves. Unless it is a DeMar DeRozan and Nikola Vucevic, or Levine, right? The reports that Levine wants to be a Laker. If that stuff happens, then maybe. But outside of that, I don't think they're going to make a trade unless they find out Anthony Davis is good to go. There are some talks that they're talking to other teams. And I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Same old story. Yes, facts. Same old story. Same result. I hope Russ keeps sitting out. I'm going to learn to respect him the hard way. We could have really used Russ today. As much as people like to talk about Russ and this, that, and the other, Russ could have went a long, long way tonight. Long way tonight. Lakers got to sign Melo. I don't think Melo helps. It's not scoring that's our problem. We can't stop anybody. Every team has their best 3-point shooting night against the Lakers. It's just, it's not I mean, yes, with 3-point shooting help, it would. But when you can't stop anybody, you could shoot 23s. But if you can't stop anybody, it's just, what are you going to do? Melo can sit out too. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. That's the time where we screaming to you, blow it out, start the soft rebuild. Again, it doesn't. You're not going to get. You can't trade Anthony Davis right now because what team is going to trade and give you real value for Anthony Davis when he might not play for a month? And two, what value are you going to get for Anthony Davis? It makes zero sense to trade Anthony Davis. Maybe in the offseason, possibly, but this season there's literally no point. There is you have no reason to trade Anthony Davis. People would make fun of Russ for prioritizing rebounding instead of running down the court. Well, this is why. Yeah, it's just we need we could have really used Russ today. We could have. He would have went a long way. Sign LaVine already, if only. If only we could. Like I said, I really don't think if you watch the video, because there was the report that came out about how LaVine wants to be a Laker, and he's kind of maybe trying to force his way to the Lakers at some point. I don't think it happens. I mean, Zach LaVine would have to basically be Mr. Bad Guy in the league, right? Because look, the Knicks have based on reports, the Knicks are willing to give whatever it takes to go get Zach LaVine, that they'll offer a Godfather package, is I believe the words that were used. Unless Zach LaVine is if you trade for me, I will sit and not play and just retire or something like that, then the Lakers aren't going to be able to get him. Because I mean, all a team has to do is just give picks that are 2 picks that are recent, and they outbeat the Lakers, and there's no way we can compete with the Knicks if they decide to pursue him. So just regardless, I don't see that being the case. But DeMar DeRozan might be a real possibility because one, a lot of the reports are that DeRozan and LaVine are not seeing eye to eye, and they're not very happy with each other, and they've had meetings and talks one-on-one and all that stuff, and it's not working out. And if you're Chicago, if it means keeping Zach LaVine, you're trading DeMar DeRozan immediately. So if you're the Bulls, do you trade? Do you tell them hey, we'll trade you Lamar, but we want you to take Lonzo because Lonzo's supposed to miss the entire, or very likely going to miss the entire season, which means he's on a bad contract and he can't stay healthy. And if you're Chicago, do you look at it as we want you to take LaVine, we'll give you DeMar and Nikola Vucevic, and take Beverly Nunn, Russ, and whatever, Damian Jones or whatever, and then basically you just have a clean slate, trade Alex Caruso to some team, and you basically have, LaVine and Williams and, White, and, start fresh and maybe go get, a Gary Trent Jr. and Miles Turner and start putting together a new team around LaVine. That could be a possibility. But personally, I don't think the Lakers are going to get LaVine at all. I don't. I do think it is very possible, though, that they could get DeMar. But is that the best course of action? Me personally, I don't think so. Personally, I'd rather go the depth route. I'd rather go get, especially if you're going to go trade Russ, go do the Spurs deal. Go get Jakob Poeltl, Josh Richardson, Doug McDermott in that trade exception. You basically turn Russ into 4 guys. And then Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn in that trade exception. Try to go get other pieces. You can't allocate them together, but you can still, maybe do a deal with the trade exception in a second, and then go do Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn, maybe go do the Knicks deal and get Cam Reddish and Evan Fournier, because at that point you're all in, right? So maybe, again, hypothetical, just throwing this out there, but maybe do the Spurs deal, give up a first in a second, get the trade exception, take that trade exception, which would be, 15 million, or if you don't get Jakob Poeltl, it'd be 21 million. Take that trade exception, go to the Detroit Pistons and say, hey, we'll give you that trade exception, the unprotected first for Bojan Bogdanovic. Now you got Josh Richardson, Doug McDermott, Bojan Bogdanovic, and then take Evan Fournier and Cam Reddish, go take them on and give up Patrick Beverly, Kendrick Nunn, and a second or nothing, or maybe you get a second or something in return for that, and boom, there you go. Go all in. Like, the Lakers got to make a decision, because we're only getting further and further behind. At what point do you just say, like, I mean, if they don't get a deal done in the next couple weeks, even a minor deal, what's the point? If we're 10 games out of 500 and out of the play-in entirely, I mean, we're still only 2.5 games or something like that out of the play-in, so we're not that far away. But is the idea to be the 10th seed? I don't know. Russ the GOAT, 80 for 2 stars. Portland, perfect trade, soft rebuild. For who? But who? You're trading for what? You're trading AD for what? Simons and the rookie? That doesn't make any sense. So glad I missed this game. We'll cut the last 6 minutes, and ouch, yeah, it was rough. It was rough. Levine can't be traded until January 15th or something, right? Yeah, correct. So if it did happen, it wouldn't be until the 15th. Not to mention the handles the ball to reduce the amount of turnovers. Literally, he said that in an interview. Also, when LeBron passes it, everyone fumbles it too. Butterfingers, man, I swear, it's rough. It is. It's rough. I'm tired of these rumors. These rumors don't mean anything. Lakers season is over. No trade. You did the same thing last year. Why do the Lakers always wait and do things in the last minute or not do anything? Your guess is good as mine at this point. Again, maybe something will happen. Hopefully something will happen. I still wake up every morning hoping to check my phone and see actual trade news, but trade a second for Reddish. I mean, look, it comes down to if they really will do that. I'd imagine if they would, the Lakers would have already done it. Because the Knicks want to trade Fournier. The Knicks want you to take Fournier in order to take Reddish, which means if you do that, then you have there's all your salary next season. And that's basically your team. Also, how the hell is Troy Brown Jr. and Kendrick Nunn not playing for the South Bay Lakers? We need bodies right now, man. We need to bring up that big center from the G League, I'm assuming. If you're talking about Huff, you can't bring up Huff. You're better off playing Damian Jones than Huff. Every time Huff has gotten NBA minutes, he's completely lost and just he might as well not even be on the court. He's pretty bad. Lakers gave him minutes last year and tried him out last year. He was terrible. That didn't last very long. And then even this season and preseason and stuff like that, every time he took the court, it was a mess. He's great in the G League, but he's not NBA ready. I'd rather them go get White. If you're going to get another big, go sign Whiteside. Again, he's free agent. Go get him. He would help a lot. Lakers ain't rebuilding, y'all. I promise y'all. Genie isn't going to do that. I don't think they're going to rebuild either. They ain't trading LeBron and AD. At least I don't think so. Do you think this season is done? And how you feel about AD's foot? I mean, I don't think the season's done yet. You still got a lot of basketball left, and there's still only 2.5 games, 3 games or something. I don't even think they're that far out of the play-in. So it's not like it's impossible for them. They rattle off a couple wins, all of a sudden they're there. They're still only 10 games out of or not 10 games. They're 5 games out of 5th place. So they're not that far behind. It's not like it's so far there's no way there's just no way to catch up. So I don't think the season is done. But I do think the Lakers got to do something sooner rather than later. They really got to make a decision. They really got to find something. But the problem is too, and something that we got to keep in mind, it's also not up to the Lakers, right? The Lakers could offer whatever they want to offer, right? It takes the other team to have to agree. And teams just don't really want to make trades right now because there's no reason to. They still got 2 months before the trade deadline. And teams are still trying to figure out, do I want to just say, let's rebuild, let's tank? Do I want to try to go on a little run? Do I want to be a buyer? Do I want to be a seller? How do we want to go about it? Which guys do we want to unload? Stuff like that. All of that is important. And then as far as AD's foot, I mean, we don't really have information, and I don't really want to speculate, because that's how like the narrative that is sweeping the internet right now that AD is going to be out 2 to 3 months. I don't even know where that came from. I haven't been able to find one reputable person that said he's going to miss 2 to 3 months. I don't know where that came from. So I don't know, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe somebody did say that that's important. I know people were saying Brian Windhorst, but Brian Windhorst never said anything like that. He was on a podcast and he talked about how it could be longer, but he never gave a time. He never said 2 or 3 months. So I don't know where people got that. They want to get a second opinion for a reason, whatever that reason is. Maybe it's to give them confidence to make a trade. Maybe it's worse than what we thought, but he's not in a walking boot. And he seems to be walking around back and forth fine. So I don't know. Just my thought. And May coming in hot with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much, May. I really do appreciate that. You're awesome. Seriously. I really, really appreciate that. Poll, better pure passer, Russ or LeBron? For their career, I think LeBron is the better pure passer. But this season, Russ has been the better. So it just depends on what are the parameters. Is it this season or in general? Because in general, I gotta say Russell Westbrook or LeBron James. But this season, Russ has been the better pure passer. He's been the better playmaker in general. He's just been really solid playmaking. So yeah, those are my thoughts. But as always, I pass it on to everyone else. Let me know. And again, May, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I know you can do poll. I don't know how to do the polls though. I'm gonna have to ask I think you have to do it through YouTube. I don't think you can do it through StreamYard. I'm gonna have to ask one of my buddies who knows how to do that. Maybe I'll have to get a poll up to where you guys can vote and stuff. So like when you do something like that, you can do it like in the live stream. I just am not sure how to do it. But again, thank you, May. We have to stop thinking that this team can be a contender. I still think that. Look, I don't think they're a contender, but I do think if everyone's healthy and you get into the playoffs, I'll take my chances. Like, good luck beating this team. I mean, look, Anthony Davis and LeBron James have shown that together they are good enough to at least play with the best of them, and I don't think that they're going to be a walkover, but that's the question. Can they be healthy? Like, I do think, like, you get a piece or two and everyone's healthy, I think the Lakers are going to be a tough out. I mean, I wouldn't bet on them to win, like I wouldn't throw my money away. But like, if you could jump into a time machine, go, into the future and come back and be like, hey, dude, just to let you know, the Lakers won the championship this year. I wouldn't be like, no way. Like, what? I can't believe that. Like, would it be a little surprising? Sure. But at the end of the day, you still have LeBron James and Anthony Davis. You still have 2 top 5, top 10 players. Like, how many teams have that? So at the end of the day, like, if they get into the playoffs, I'll take my chances. Light the beam. We're just not there. I don't necessarily say we need to sign Dwight. No, Dwight Howard he needs to stay in Taiwan where he's getting bullied by 7'2" guys. Like, no, he was terrible. Like, look, last year, Frank Vogel, who loves big man, who played Roy Hibbert to a point where, like, they should have just traded Roy Hibbert so Frank Vogel could not play him. He rather went with Carmelo Anthony at the 5 than Dwight Howard, because Dwight Howard, he's not the guy anymore. Like, he's too flat-footed now. He doesn't have the athleticism like he used to. He's too much of a liability. I mean, last year, every time he played, he got a technical. Like, the refs don't like. It's a mess. It's a mess. Go look at Hassan Whiteside if you're going to get a big. Also, while here, since the season is pretty much washed, is it possible for the Lakers to make the trade early for next season? I mean, I don't want them to wait right until the end to make moves. Any trade that they make is likely going to be even if AD was 100% healthy, they're not going to make a trade just for this season. Any trade that they make is going to be for the next several seasons. That's why Rob has to be careful, because if you make a trade and it doesn't work, like, that's your team for the next, like, 2, 3, 4 years, right? So whatever trade he makes, it has to be the right trade. And you got to keep in mind, the Lakers might be terrible in, like, 2 years. Because, like, let's say, for example, right, let's say the Lakers do the Buddy Hield to Miles Turner trade, right? And let's say they re-sign Walker and Reaves, right? So now you got Reaves, Walker, LeBron, Miles Turner, Buddy Hield. And then the following year, LeBron James, after that season's over, LeBron James says, I'm leaving. I'm going to opt out of my contract and I'm going to go over here. That means there's all your cap space. There's everything. Like, you're done pretty much, right? Because you got Anthony Davis on a max. You probably got Miles Turner on $25 million a year. Got Buddy Hield on $22 million. You got probably Walker on, like, let's say $15 million. Austin Reaves on like $15 million. Like, your team is now Anthony Davis, Miles Turner, Buddy Hield, Austin Reaves, and Walker, and then a bunch of vets. And like, that's the problem. That's the problem the Lakers are in too. Troy Brown is horrible, so is none. Agreed. LeBum needs to get pushed to play defense. I mean, the dude is doing everything. Like, what is the guy supposed to do? Like, you want him to play elite defense and carry the scoring load and and do the assist. And I mean, he's only one guy. Why is Huff not moved up? Because Huff isn't NBA ready. He's not. I'm telling you. Go watch the highlights of him last season and watch him in preseason this season and tell me that guy is NBA ready. He looks great against college competition. He looks great against the G League, and he's better than them, but he's not like NBA level ready. Every time he's gotten an opportunity, he looks lost. Like, he looks like a guy that does it like it's his first time playing basketball. And maybe it's nerves, maybe it's jitters. I don't know, but it's happened several times. Definitely, there's no way Sabonis is grabbing 20-plus rebounds with Russ on the floor tonight. We could have used all of Russ's everything. Scoring, assists, playmaking, all of it. Everything's messed up right now. I agree. We could have used DeMar tonight. I agree. We could have. Lakers not making the playoffs. It's still very early. And like I said, we're still only a couple games out of a playoff spot. So it's not like we're that far behind. Ham is trash. I wouldn't say that. I don't think Ham is trash. As he had bad moments, sure. He doesn't have a lot of talent. You know what I mean? Like, who like, what coach could do more than what Ham's done? They need high IQ players. They do. They need a lot of things, and they just don't have it. Lakers versus refs and the Kings. Thoughts on the recent update on AD? I will be shocked if he comes back this season. I still don't think it's going to be more than him. I mean, the only thing we have, like, I don't want to speculate. Again, like, from what we heard, the only concrete, real information we have is that he's going to miss weeks. Now, is that 2 weeks? Is that 10 weeks? You know, they said it's about a month. Okay. Like, but all the rumors of, like, him being out 2-3+ months, like, those are all, like, nobody's reported that. Now, I do think the whole Lakers want a second opinion. I think that is interesting, but that could mean a multitude of things too, right? That could mean maybe they just want a second opinion to make sure that they don't bring him back too early, right? Because if he comes back too early and he gets hurt, now you're in trouble, right? And if he's out for the season, you know, so maybe they want a second opinion just to make sure he's healthy and good to go. It could be, you know, that maybe they are planning on doing a trade. Maybe they are looking to make a move and they don't want to do the trade if AD can't come back early, or not early, but like on time. You know, maybe they just want to make sure and evaluate and check. If Anthony Davis wanted a second opinion, I'd be a little concerned, right? Because that means it's probably worse than what it is. And the Lakers are trying to force him to come back early, because that's usually what happens. Usually organization, their doctors, you're fine. You can come back. No worries. And then they end up getting hurt again, and that's it. And so you see a lot of players will ask for a second opinion. This isn't Anthony Davis asking for a second. This is the Lakers asking for a second opinion. So I don't want to just assume it's something bad. Could it be? Sure. Could it be worse than what we think? Possibly. But he's not walking around in a walking boot. Usually if he had like a tear or, you know, some structural damage or a fracture or something, he'd be in some sort of boot, and he's not. And he seemed pretty live the other night. When he was walking around and jumping up and I just, again, I don't want to speculate too much into it. LeBum, meaningless points. I mean, he was the only player out there. The team is with that L from last year. Deep down, the players know that it's the end. Another year of trash. I mean, maybe I don't agree necessarily, but you never know. AD misses more games than he plays. I mean, not really, but call up Swider. Sign Swider's still hurt. Huff, sign Huff. Cut Jones. You can't cut Jones. Can't do any of those things. LeBum is done stat padding. He's not stat padding when he's the only player on the court. I mean, usually, when you say somebody's stat padding, they have more than just them on the court. I hate Genie Buzz. The Lakers have 11 different versions of me on the roster outside of Bron AD and Rusty FX, right? KB, you and me could get out there and probably earn a roster spot right now the way that they play. LeBron did stat pad his ass off tonight, though. He's like I said, I wouldn't really call it stat padding when he's the only player on the court. If he had like AD and Russ tonight and he was over their stat, then I'd be like, yeah, but I mean, the bench on the Lakers were just flat out embarrassing, except for Winning and Christie. Yeah, I mean that's what happens when you don't have Russ. Like Russ is all of our, literally all of our bench. He is the last 2 times Russ hasn't played, our bench has been terrible, and it's because we're so reliant on him off the bench. Katie and the Nets are balling right now. They're 11-1 in the last 12, and crazy. I saw this stat today. Excuse me. Kyrie is averaging 27 points per game, shooting 50% from the field, and Kevin Durant is averaging 32.5 or just under 33 a game, and is shooting like 70% or something like that, or 68% or something crazy like that. They're killing it. We need help. We need a lot of help. Definitely. No, the Hornets don't sign Howard. You can't sign Howard. And you got to remember, Howard and Anthony Davis literally got in a physical altercation on the bench. Besides Howard just being terrible now and just irrelevant and being a liability on the court, not only playing wise, but also technical wise. I mean, that guy, every other possession gets a technical. You can't do that. What's going on, Nike? What's going on, Mark? Appreciate you. How are you? Only LeBron and Reaves have basketball IQs on this team. Reaves is fantastic. Don't be fooled. Troy Brown Jr. 7 points, 5 of that during garbage time. Yeah, no, look, I agree. 9-4 over the last 13 is still doable, guys. Don't be too hard, but I think we can do it. Yeah, I think we can too. I mean, Russ is going to come back sooner or later. I don't imagine Russ is going to miss too many games, which is still surprising because, maybe he really does have a back issue, but it just was random. But the whole Russ thing, and then Reeves should be back, and that should help a little bit because you're talking about 2 of your 5 best guys. Just looking at the team on the floor is mind blowing for real. Yeah, facts. We need help ASAP. Yeah, LeBron needs to get on the phone and get some people, talk to some people. LeBum losing is normal. Zach LaVine should have just come to us in the offseason. Why would you wait? Shaking my head because we didn't have the money to sign him. And they weren't, and Chicago wasn't going to do a sign and trade for us. Why do we still have Pat and none? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine at this point. Why would the Lakers make a trade when Davis is in Cancun already? Makes no sense. I mean, several reasons. It's the right deal that makes sense. It's a deal that helps now and when AD comes back. 3, there's not a lot of great free agents next season. So if you can get a deal that helps now and the next few years, you do that. I mean, there's lots of reasons to still do a trade. Love it when people say losing instead of losing. Yeah. The game showed why we shouldn't trade the farm this season. We aren't as deep as we think. No, we should do the next trade. Randall, Cam, Fournier, because we stacked, and a chance decent. maybe great for not. I mean, I don't think you trade the farm if unless the right deal is there. I don't think the Lakers are going to trade the farm, but I don't know. You get, like I said, you get a solid deal or two. You're there. Like again, I'm just throwing this out there. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but like if you could pull off, say you take the first, you go trade Russ for, say Josh Richardson, Doug McDermott, and uh, and say Jakob, right? Because we need a center, right? So you go do that, go do the Russ deal, and you still have like a 15 million trade exception, right? So now you could take the trade exception, take Patrick Beverly, Kendrick Nunn. So now maybe you take Patrick Beverly, Kendrick Nunn, you take them, you go to the Pistons, you give up the unprotected first, you get Bojan Bogdanovic. Now you got Bojan, you got Josh Richardson, Doug McDermott, and Jakob Poeltl, and then take that trade exception and go get, Evan Fournier and Cam Reddish or whatever. And now, or go get Cam Reddish in a couple pieces, whatever, and give up a second or whatever. And now you just basically flipped Russ, Russ, Bev, and Nunn into 5 or 6 guys that could come in that could be solid now and for the future. Or you could do the same thing with the Hornets deal or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, do a couple deals. You can turn it around. And then AD comes back and you're there. Again, easier said than done. Will it happen? Probably not. Not the way that I make it sound. And those teams have to oblige. But it's just, you got to, hopefully they figure something out, is my point. Kendrick Nunn played 11 minutes and had all zeros across the board and shot 6 field goals. He somehow was a +6. Plus minus is the dumbest in the world. That's what I'm saying. We were talking about this on the last live stream. Plus minus is the most misleading stat ever. In some circumstances, it's good to give you like an idea of like certain scenarios, and it gives you an idea of like certain lineups, right? But it's just a terrible stat to see if somebody's good or not, because like I said, more times than not, the highest plus minus, like you'll see players that have like, they're like 0 for 3 shooting and they have like 0 rebounds, 0 assists, and they're like a +21. And you're like, how the hell are they and they have the highest plus minus in the league. And then like and then Anthony Davis will give you like 50, they'll give you like 50, 20, and 7. And like give you 3 blocks and 2 steals and just be an absolute dominant force. And he'll be like a -15. And you're like, what? Like what? Like plus minus is just, it's all over the place. Lakers are too small. That's why they lost. Yes, we definitely need some size. Definitely. Size is a must. We need to trade ASAP. Wings are too small. And worked. Our rebounding needs help also. It's the problem. We need a lot of things. And it's just, it takes other teams that want to do it too. And teams aren't in a rush to make a trade. Like the Bojan Bogdanovic. Like the Lakers offered a first-round pick, which is surprising for Bojan because they didn't want to do that to the Jazz, but they were willing to do it. And they were like, we want more. Because, the way they look at it is that first is still going to be there. If it's not there from you, it's going to be there from somebody else. So why do it now? You want Bojan now? It's going to cost you more than what it would at the trade deadline. If you want to wait for the trade deadline, wait for the trade deadline. If you don't, then, this is what it is right now. And that's the problem the Lakers are falling in. Kendrick Nunn was supposed to start if Russ was dealt. Yeah. Lakers 0 defense. That is true. Jesus has to come to the Lakers game again on Christmas. Yeah. What else we got? Trade LeBron and AD. This team has 0 chance of winning this year. They need to rebuild for the future. You can't trade LeBron or AD. You can't trade LeBron even if you want to do. And AD, there's no point trading AD right now. You're not going to get any value. Like, what team is going to trade for AD when he can't play for a month? Lakers could not handle Sabonis. Yes, facts. What's going on, Buttkicker? Appreciate you. How are you? Y'all traded the future for a Mickey Mouse ring. Hey, it's still a ring. How many teams? You realize that there are teams that still have never even been to a finals, and we were still the best team that year. I just saw that we were 57-0 when we had a lead in the fourth quarter. That's insane. Insane. Like that team was the best team in the league. Like people act like we were the 8th seed and came back and won. It's a bunch of clowns. People are so hurt and upset. It's so funny. Like people are literally genuinely upset, hurt, and bothered that the Lakers won a championship. Like it's hilarious. Need to remove Trey Brown, Nunn, and Pat Bev. Yeah, we need to unload a lot of guys. Remember when Skip Bayless said, just send Russ home because Patrick Beverley was a better point guard? Skip Bayless just says stuff to say stuff. Like that, I can't even listen or watch Skip Bayless, like, in Shannon Sharp. It's not even entertaining. They literally just make stuff up, say stuff, and just scream at each other. Like, I don't know how people like that. Like, it's just, I mean, look, those debate shows, people love them. They're successful for whatever reason. I don't understand them because half the time they're just saying stuff and it just doesn't make any sense. I'm like, what? That's not true. Like, they just suck. Yeah. Exactly. It's just people that are upset because the Lakers won a championship. The NBA wants Victor to the Pelicans. Zion and Vic will win. And Lakers aren't that bad. Keep in mind trading a zero defense team. I mean, it depends on, like I said, it depends on the players. It's stupid for Rob Pelinka to sit around with his numbers and make a trade yesterday, please. But again, like I said, it's not just up to him. Like, would it be nice if Rob Pelinka could call a team and just say, hey, we're going to give you Patrick Beverley, Kendrick Nunn in 2 seconds for Josh Richardson, Jakob Poeltl, and Doug McDermott? Done. Okay, good. Boom. And hang up the phone, and the deal gets done and signed. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. And teams want more right now because they know the Lakers are desperate. The Lakers need a trade, and it's early, and we don't have to trade till the trade deadline. So it's not as easy as it sounds. Austin Reaves is the most surprising player this season. I don't know if I would say the most surprising because, I mean, he was doing this last year. Walker, I kind of saw Walker coming. Like, I even said in not preseason when we signed him, I was like, I don't believe it was on this channel because I don't think I had this channel yet. But on the As It Stands channel, I was talking about how, like, people are sleeping on Walker. Like, Walker could be a 15 to 20 point a game guy, and boom, 15 to 20 point a game guy. Dudes crying about Lakers not making a trade are oblivious to the fact no trade matters if AD isn't healthy. That's another excellent point too. Huff better, Jones no, just needs experience. I mean, he might be at some point. Problem is, like, the Lakers just aren't in a position to, like, give a guy experience. They need somebody that can come in and actually make an impact. Agree. Long way to go. They said Scottie Pippen Jr. could play over Russ, shaking my head. Exactly. I mean, look, Scottie Pippen Jr. has gotten several chances and hasn't done anything. And he's, like, going to win MVP in the G League. The G League is not the NBA. You see guys all the time that come over and, like, you get guys that are averaging, like, 30 and 20 in the G League, and then they come to the NBA and they, like, are, like, 2 point a game guys. It's not the same thing. Why not pick up Whiteside immediately? That I don't understand. I don't get it. I'm not the GM. Again, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't. For all we know, Rob Pelinka is signing a deal right now to get a trade. Like, that's the thing too that we have to understand as fans as well. Like, we're not on the phone calls. We're not having the discussions. Like, we're not in the, the war room hearing and seeing what Rob. We're just, like, impatient fans that are like, get a deal and do it now. Like, but who knows? I mean, every person Rob Pelinka calls might be just hanging up on him for all we know. Like, we don't know the circumstances. But, personally, that being said, I don't know why we haven't signed or given Hassan Whiteside a shot. Look, has he had locker room problems? Sure. Is he a guy that you can count on? Probably not. But 2 things that he's really good at that we really need right now is rebounding and blocking shots. And those are 2 things we really need. Plus, it would give Russ another lob threat. So Russ would probably get more assists, and him and Russ would probably have a good tandem. And you could probably play Whiteside next to Anthony Davis if you needed to. Is he the greatest player in the world? No, but like in limited minutes with like Utah, he was still like 8 and 7 with like a block and a half a game, in like 15 minutes a game. So I think he could help. They said Pat Bev, Kendrick Nunn, Dennis Schroeder, and even AR-15 were all better than Russ. I know earlier in the season, everyone thought they were better than Russ. Whiteside is a bum. Hell no. I wouldn't say he's not. I don't think he's a bum. He's the only reason he doesn't have a job is because he's just a head case. He's just a problem. But not getting a contract and sitting out all this time can be very humbling. Career-wise, probably LeBron is the better passer, but not by much. Currently, Westbrook is better. Yeah, exactly. Same thing. Same thing, I think. If AD is out longer than a month, we done, not going to lie. Yeah, if he's out for like 2-3 months, then yeah, we're probably in trouble. AD play only 20 games a year. Not that bad. Jeannie wants to sign Kuz in the offseason. I mean, wouldn't be surprised. Jeannie really liked Kuz. No one wants the Lakers picks 7 years away. They get tired of hearing they need to trade those picks. Those picks are worthless than picks in the next few years. Not necessarily. Depends on the team. I mean, there's a reason teams want them. I mean, and there are even like reports, like Woj even reported that most execs actually covet the Lakers picks more than anyone else because a lot of teams believe that the Lakers are like once LeBron leaves, they're going to be terrible. The Lakers are bad right now. You don't think remember pre-LeBron? Remember how bad we are? Like, would you rather have a 30th pick now or would you rather have a potential top 5 pick 5 years from now? You'd probably rather have a potential top 5 pick 5 years from now. Even if you are a good team. Like let's say you're a rebuilding team right now that ends up being a contender in 5 years, right? Like say the Spurs turn it around. They draft Victor Wembanyama. They put a team around him. They get the Lakers pick. They don't really need the 27th pick in the draft. Like that's not really helping them rebuild. But they could rebuild now with their pieces and then, get a piece or two, boom, all of a sudden they're a contender in 5 years, couple free agent acquisitions, and now they have, the number 2 pick in the draft because the Lakers are terrible. And they could either draft a guy if they really like him, or they could use that to go get a missing piece. Say they're like, we're Harrison Barnes away from being the best team in the league. Well, now they can take that and use it as an asset. There's a lot of value in the Lakers picks, a lot. Season is over. Lakers need to rebuild, trade old LeBron, trade fragile AD. Can't do it this year. There's a reason Whiteside isn't on a team right now. Yeah, that's because of his locker room issues. He's had an issue everywhere he's gone. But like I said, humbling experience. And what do you have to lose? It's not like the Lakers have many options right now. And best case, it's a low risk, high reward. You sign him to an Exhibit 10 deal. Basically, do what you did with Stanley Johnson. Exhibit 10, and then sign him to a non-guarantee. I think injury to AD is more severe, but Lakers don't want to admit it. I think he's out for the season. I don't think he's out for the season, but it could be more severe. Who knows? If he was out for the season, I'd imagine he's in a walking boot. Like, if it was that bad, there's no way he's walking around without a walking boot. Whiteside is a good defender and offensive player. Yeah, he could really help with the rebounding. There is no trade for the Lakers anymore. They will try to strip the Lakers naked. They'll try, definitely. And that's a big problem, too. I think Ron and Russ are different types of passers. Russ is a better passer in transition and feeding a big, or is a better half-court passer and likes to feed open shooters. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, they are two different. They have different passing styles, I guess. Anthony Davis done with Darvin Ham, too. I don't know about that, but I could see AD out for at least a month. Well, that's what the report was, that he's going to be out for weeks, at least a month, 3-4 weeks. We should do the New York trade. We get 3 good, possibly great players and a first for nothing but Cat. Clippers is a good example of a team 1 or 2 pieces away, overhaul. Just kidding. It depends on if they would. I wouldn't want to do it unless the Knicks actually give up that first. If you do it for that, like, because there's still risk. Like, is Julius Randle going to be a good fit? Like, is him and LeBron going to work? Julius Randle's going from like the number 1 or 2 option on the Knicks to, the 3rd or 4th option on the Lakers. Usually in this position, a team would just hit the reset. Yeah, but most teams in this situation don't have LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Rob and Bus are not very bright. If they were, they would have made a trade. I'm frustrated. It's how work team constructed really bad. Too many guards. Yeah, I don't really understand the 20 guards. I mean, look, I do understand it. They thought they were going to get a trade done, and they didn't. And so Rob went and got all those guards and did all that stuff because they thought they were trading Russell Westbrook, and then they didn't trade Russell Westbrook. And it kind of makes sense that they were going to do the Patrick Beverly, or that they were going to do the Miles Turner, Buddy Hield deal, because then you would have had, Patrick Beverly, Buddy Hield. Like, Patrick Beverly made sense next to Buddy Hield. And, so you would have had him, you would have had Hield, you would have had, LeBron, AD, and Turner. That would have been a really good starting 5 back then. Now, in hindsight, it's like Patrick Beverly's terrible. But nobody knew he was going to be like that because he was great the year prior. So, it's just a lot of circumstances. There's a lot of things that, kind of went into that. Why not pick up DeMarcus Cousins off the street? He can score. Madman still. Multitude of reasons. One, he's too flat-footed, too slow. He can't play more than and that was the problem Denver had. He couldn't play more than 10 minutes a game. Every time he played more than 10 minutes a game, he missed the next 3 or 4 games because he can't stay healthy. It's just he'd be great offensively, but again, we need defense badly. Did you know the Lakers are the poorest team in the NBA? Fact. Sauver was the poorest owner, but he sold. Sauver just sold for $4 billion. Man, when big men hurt their feet, their careers are over. Look at the history. Not all of them. LeBron is a bigger brand than the Lakers now. You're not too far off. Russ is a better passer by a little bit, but let's also imagine that the passes Russ would make with LeBron's height. Yeah, that's just a good point too. Imagine if Russ was 6'9". Second unit sucks without Russ. Facts. Absolute facts. Do top players that don't play? LeBron's done a pretty good job of playing. The Russ effect. He can make bums look like they have potential. Then he's gone and they suck. Not wrong. What's with Darvin and his 3-guard lineups? It's kind of hard to do anything else when that's all you have on the team. Literally, all we have are guards. So, of course, you're going to have lineups from time to time. LeBron said it best. No, we're too heavy as hell. Yeah, definitely. What's up, Snorlax? Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. Steven Adams had both his best scoring seasons with Russ. Yeah, dude, Russ makes big men look great. He's gotten a couple big men paid. Steven Adams is one of them. Okay, so when and where did Westbrook get hurt? I don't know. That's what I'm wondering too. He was supposed to play, and then they just the final minute they were like, "Oh yeah, Russ isn't playing tonight." Even the announcer was like, "Wait, Russ isn't playing tonight?" That's surprising. I don't know. It was strange for sure. What time is it? Okay, go a little longer. No, we don't need Dwight. He can't turn his hips and move out. Did y'all watch that? Exactly. He's not. He can't. He's not. You need to stay away from him. Let's see. Wasn't able to watch tonight's game. So pissed. I never missed Lakers game. I get it. I didn't really want to watch. To be fair, I didn't really want to watch the Lakers game, but got to do it. You got to be able to talk about it. I was like, there's other things that I want to watch right now, and I was like, the things that I do for you people. Things that I do for you people. So hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. I had to sit there and endure that entire game start to finish, but I could have watched or done other things. But I did it so I could talk to all of you beautiful people. So like the video, subscribe to the channel. What team in the NBA wants to help the Lakers right now. No team wants to help the Lakers, but there are teams that would help themselves. I've said this before. Rob Pelinka still won't care, even if the Lakers go down to 15 seed. Probably not. Dwight was not good on the floor last season, save for a few games. I'll let him stay in Taiwan. Exactly. Pacers in the playoffs and just beat the Celtics. How they want to trade right now. Because, I mean, the circumstances haven't changed for the Pacers. I don't necessarily think, I'm not saying that like they do want to do that. Maybe they don't want to trade Miles Turner and Buddy Hield anymore. But like the whole reason and circumstances as to why they did hasn't changed. Miles Turner's still probably leaving. Buddy Hield, they don't really want or need his contract. They should have tanked this year, and they're not. They're not winning the championship this year. So, the circumstances haven't changed. But again, I don't think that. I think that deal isn't going to happen. Hield and Turner aren't coming. You could get one or the other for 2 first-round picks. Indiana isn't playing that game. I don't think. Look, Indiana. I would be shocked if the Lakers offered both unprotected first-round picks and Indiana said no. I would. Just because, like I said, the circumstances haven't happened. And look, maybe it's not on the table no more. It's very possible. But nothing's changed other than, like, now they're not competing for Victor Wembanyama, which they should have. Like, all they did was just ruin their future. We don't need any more veteran centers. I don't know. I still kind of would like to take a look at Whiteside personally. Like I said, I mean, you don't have to keep him long, but at least for the time being. We started 16 and 15 through the first 31 games last season, by the way. So not much better. And that was with one of the easy schedules to start the season. Yeah, I mean, this team is better than last year's team, for sure. But we're still not very good. Won't win more than 30 games. Lakers will win more than 30 games this year. They won 33 last year, and this team's better than last year. Huff is 25 if he isn't NBA ready. If he isn't ready, he's not NBA. Not necessarily. That's not true. I mean, there have been plenty of NBA players that have came in and like their late to early 30s and actually had like good 5-6 year careers. 7-6 Giants in Taiwan and stuff. Yeah. I saw we allowed 40 plus points in the second half and 30 and third quarter. 40 plus points in the second and third quarter. Where was the defense? There wasn't any. It was non-existent, which was the problem. Not saying we are a contender, but we still got time to be something. Rob just has to make a move. I agree. I mean, look, we're still not that far away, as bad as we've been. But, and I still would take my chances if we got to the playoffs. But looking a little bleak. When did Russ get hurt? I have no idea. I really don't. I have zero idea. We haven't gotten any word, any information, nothing. I don't know if they sat him just to, sit him or what. I don't know. I have no idea. Your guess is as good as mine. The game against whatchamacallit, where he was supposed to play and then they just didn't play the Suns game. And then they just didn't play him. That was surprising. But May coming in hot with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Shout out to you and everyone. Merry Christmas. Merry Xmas. May, seriously, thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. You're awesome. And yes, shout out to everyone. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays too for those that don't celebrate Christmas. I appreciate you all. You guys are awesome. Thank you. And I will be doing a Christmas stream, so stay tuned for that. Gotta still give you the post game stream. Where are we? Where were we? Here we go. Russ barely misses games. Rare time he missed 2 in a row. Yeah, I know. It's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. I don't know. Maybe there's a reason. Maybe he really is hurt. I don't know. Russ might be getting moved, to be honest, because he wouldn't sit for something that minor. That's kind of my thinking too, but I don't want to I don't want to put that out there too much to where people think like something's going to get done, and it doesn't happen, and maybe he really is hurt. Maybe he really is having like back tightness or something. I don't know. But it is really interesting. They need more shooters on the Lakers. They need a lot of things. I'm with you. Russ faking ain't no info on AD. Shaking my head. I don't think Russ ain't the guy to fake it. So I don't think he faked it. But I mean, the Lakers might have sat him out to sit him out. He's out at least a month. That man hurts himself looking at his shadow. 80 listed with foot soreness, but out a month isn't a good sign. I mean, it's not a good sign. But I mean, it also depends. Like if you got like a bone bruise, like that's not like super severe, but like that'll keep you out for like a month, you know? So it just depends. Depends on what it was. I wish they would have given us some information though, so we don't all have to like speculate. We should be tight with our picks. Our big three, including LeBron, is in question. I will say LeBron James is not good enough to get us there, and we don't have the assets to get him what he needs. No thanks to Lee GM. Yeah, we don't. We're kind of in a rock and a hard place. We can't do a deal just to do a deal. If a deal materializes and there's something that's there that makes sense, then do it. But if not, then can't do it. Russ ain't going anywhere. Neither is Pat Bev. He and Russ are combined $60 million expiring contracts. The Lakers are planning to use that cap space. Yeah, but they won't get $60 million in expiring deals, in salary cap space. They only right now they only have about like $32 million in cap space, with cap holds and all that stuff. So I mean, you can make an argument. It makes more sense for the Lakers to trade them because with those two, you can get about like 70 million, something like that, in returning salary for the right players. Again, I'm not saying you just trade them like, oh yeah, hey, we'll take on your 70 million in cap space just because. I'm not saying that, but the Lakers would get more value out of trading them than they would actually signing guys. Because I mean, you sign, say, Miles Turner, there's all your cap space. 80 tired of ham juice isn't good. If we had Braun and Russ for 70 games, we could at least 50 of them. 80 Braun. Yeah, I think so. Like if everyone was healthy, I do. If everyone was healthy and playing the way that they're playing, I do think that we'd be a playoff team. A lot of the season left. 94 record over this is 22 and 22 at game 44 with 38 left to play and 80 probably back. Yeah, I don't think that that's completely out of the realm of possibility, especially with our schedule that's coming up. We do have a bit of a lighter schedule. LeBron's balling. He's not stat padding. He's trying to win the game. Agreed. I mean, like I said, he's the only guy out there. It's not good. It's not a sprained ankle. It's not a sprained foot, from what I understand. It's something a little more concerning than that. Brian Windhorst, yeah. Yeah. Like I said, it could very well be a bone bruise. Nunn and Beverly were bad signs. Yeah, like I said, Nunn we got last year. And look, Nunn was great. And and even in preseason, he looked like a guy that really could save the day to some degree. I don't know what happened. He just fell off, but he was great in Miami. Beverly was great last year. Like they weren't bad acquisitions, and it made sense that they were going to do a trade. It just one never materialized. Tyler, how do you feel about Jeannie's new fiance? I personally think she should be released from the NBA for marrying a racist. Yeah, so I didn't even hear about that until a couple hours ago. Somebody left a comment saying something about it, and I didn't really know what they were talking about, and I thought they were just joking. They said something about the fiance, but it wasn't that he said the N-word a bunch of times or whatever. It just was I don't know, it was just some silly funny comment, and I was like, oh, that's funny or whatever. And then I saw a post I don't know, a couple hours ago that was Jeannie's now fiance, the comedian, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, and I was like, oh, that's what they were talking about. I was like, oh, that's surprising. Yeah. it's just said some stupid stuff. That'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Uh, we'll see how that goes. That usually doesn't go over well. But also I didn't actually like read the articles yet, so I don't really know exactly. I just know he said like the N word or something like that. I don't know in what context. I don't know anything. I don't like yeah. But apparently, from what people are telling me, it was pretty bad. So I imagine he said it stupidly, which that wasn't even a word. But you get what I'm saying. Shout out to the Magic 7-8, 2 over the Celtics. Yeah, they've been killing it. They're going to be a really good young team, man. Really good young team. AD could potentially have fracture injury, which is the same injury as Chet Holmgren has. I hope not. Hope not. That would be awful news. Please get rid of JTA before he comes back. Worst player on a championship team. Yeah, he's not the best. DeAndre Jordan is better than Dwight though, and he's somehow still in the league. Man, I know. I don't understand how he's in the league either. Bro, DeAndre's terrible. Just play JTA 30 minutes a game at this point. Let bro cook, right? Imagine he just is like the superstar in the making that like nobody saw coming. He said, "Let bro cook." Yeah. What do we expect from a bunch of minimum salary players? That's an excellent point. Excellent point. JTA could average a solid 6 points if we gave him 3 minutes per game. He's that more than bad. I could probably average 6 points a game if you gave me 30 minutes a game. Bev been a good defender though. I mean he's been all right. I would loosely say good. He has his moments. He definitely has his moments. The first thing we need to do is a pat and none. Then see if we can keep us afloat. If not, do the rest trade. Yeah, I would like to see them do the minor trade first, then reevaluate the team and see, if we can pull something else off. If there's anything else that we could do. Let's see. Just getting rid of Bev and none makes this a better team. Yeah. Addition by subtraction. Pat don't give us much offensively lately. He's been a little better though, but still, yeah, like 2 or 3 games doesn't really turn around a whole season. None was +6 because Braun had like 3 steals when he was in the game. Yeah, the problem is we're relying on Bev to be a scoring threat. That's why everyone is so hard on him. Yeah, Bev could play exactly like this on damn near any other team, and he'd be doing a good job. Well, yeah, I mean, that's the problem is we need scoring. Like, we need two-way guys. We need sizable wings. And in his defense, he's having to guard, like, 6'8" guys and stuff like that. Doesn't really help either. So it's just, like, a tough spot for him to be in, period. Bev could play – yeah, I got that one. Yeah, but we need scoring threats instead of Bev, yeah. I like Thomas Bryant, but damn, that man needs to work on his perimeter defense. Guys were sagging off on the perimeter to help him in the paint. Other than that, love the guy. Also, he has better fingers. Yeah, look, I mean, he's supposed to be our backup. Like he's not supposed to be the guy we rely on. I think he's perfect for what we need him to be if everybody was there. Like and subscribe if you can do it. Yes, that is right. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. If you're not subscribed, if you haven't liked the video, it takes a second. I really appreciate it. Trying to get to 7K before the end of the year. It's going to be tight. But hopefully we can do it. I need to average like 40 subs a day and we'll be there. And I get around like 30 to 40 a day. So I watched Bryant play with Russ in Washington. He has T-Rex arms. Yeah. Very true. He did better tonight. He's just got to get more, yeah. I don't believe in waiting around for a rain. It should always be looked at as this year. Yeah, I used to. But again, can't just do a trade just to do a trade. You got to do something that makes sense. The last thing you want to do is make a deal, and now you're stuck. Man, I wish there was no COVID that year. Because I want to see the excuse people would make up to discredit Braun Lakers at this point without the bubble. Oh yeah, of course. Any people just want to talk and hate and say things. Just say things. Let them talk. For me, it's engagement and it helps. So talk your stuff. Just look at how small Brian's arms are when he's on the court. He can't stop anything, even if he's 110%, which he does. Yeah. Tyler loves his Nick Wright because he is always right. He's not always right, but believe it or not, Nick Wright actually does make a lot of sense sometimes. And he's one of the few people that break the mold. Like he's like out of like the mainstream analysts, he might be one of my favorites. Like off the top of my head, because he's like one of the few people that is usually like, no, this is this, but he like the things that he like believes in, he will like not waver. Right, like LeBron, for example, like he'll never criticize LeBron for like anything. Like there are some things that I'm just like, all right, dude, but he does have good points here and there. Like, and he's usually spot on about like stuff that like other analysts don't want to talk about, you know. So, Sharp is solid. Skip is a joke. Yeah, agreed. I like Shannon Sharp. I wish they gave him. I know he's got like Club Shay Shay or whatever, but I wish he got his like own like actual analysis thing or did something on YouTube. Like hit up like Colin Cowherd should hit him up and add him to the volume. That's what he should do. And be like, hey man, come over here, give your own show, come talk, hang out. Lakers front office been making mistakes for over the last 5 years, and they can't get out of it. LeBron, diverse more. That's just bad timing. They didn't sell a franchise. You knew nothing about the game. I don't agree with all of that. People say Lakers got a lot of rest during the bubble season. I guess the Lakers were the only team quarantined while 29 other teams kept playing. I know that's what people like to say. Again, people like to act like we were like the 8th seed that like squeezed into the playoffs and won a championship. We were still the best team in the league, and we beat the top 3 teams before play stopped. Right? Like we were really good. We were top 3 in defense. We were number 1 in offense, I believe. Like. We were the best team in the league for a reason. We had the best record. We were undefeated with a lead in the fourth quarter. Thomas Bryant's role should be just what it is before AD went down. About 12 to 18 minutes at the bench spot starts. Yeah, exactly. They upset because they had to play us at full strength. That's exactly what it is. They actually, like, people forget when they're making that argument that they actually postponed the bubble another week so guys like Kawhi Leonard could get healthy and come back. Like literally. Like there was other guys like stars and stuff that needed another like week. So they like moved it a week so those guys could come back. So they actually gave other teams favor, I guess. Keep in mind, at one time, the Lakers had Julius Randle, Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, and Jordan Clarkson. That's a championship team, and they unloaded them all. I disagree. I mean, name me one of those guys that are even, like, leading their team into the playoffs. Like, Brandon Ingram, like, you can make an argument, but, like, what did he do before C.J. McCollum and Zion got there? Nothing. Like, that team maybe makes the playoffs, but that team is nowhere near a contender. Nowhere near a contender. That team would just be a solid team, you know. I don't remember people questioning where Lonnie's spot in the rotation would be. With Bevan you can play time over him now. Look where we're at. The exact opposite. Yeah, facts. Sorry, trying to find something to me. What is Pelinka waiting for? There's a lot of things on the table. Either be conservative or trade. Doing nothing will get us nowhere with this roster. I mean, here's the thing, though, is like we don't know for sure how many of those deals are actually like live deals right now. You know what I mean? Like they're all just reports, and it's all like, you know, people just saying like, oh, this person told me that, you know, that they wanted to do a deal and blah, 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 blah. Like we don't know for sure. If like for all we know, like the Knicks want both first round picks for, you know, Fournier and Reddish, you know, and the Knicks and somebody in the Knicks office was like, oh, we're trying to do a trade with the Lakers, but the Lakers don't want to do one. Like, and it's like, well, yeah, because you want both unprotected first for Evan Fournier. So that's something too. I'm not a fan of Troy Brown or winning. Winning, I think, is perfect for what we need him to be. The problem is we need him to be more than what he is. But as like a solid backup for like 10 to 15 minutes a game, he is great. High energy. He's like a Montrezl Harrell, just solid. Remember when you said Troy Brown was the most consistent Laker? He was for the first like half of the season, and then he just fell off a cliff. Dude, that guy was 8 points a game automatic every game, and was like shooting. He was like at one point he was like our only 40% 3-point shooter. Like he was great. Like the first half of the season, almost every game that guy gave us 8 points, 8 to 10 points every single game, like every single game, and then he just fell off a cliff. I don't know what happened. If this was any other team, more like scenario stats, get traded to get the initial picks, young prospects, yeah, probably. Teams are basically saying they won't deal. Lakers of the picks are protected. That in itself tells you the value. Exactly, the picks have a lot of value. Like I said, they the Athletic released I believe it was the Athletic released a report that where they talked to like more than half of the GMs in the league, and all of them unanimously said that the Lakers picks are the most coveted picks that are available right now because of the reason. Like teams believe the Lakers are going to fall apart. I'm surprised they don't start Bryant at the 5 more. I think it's just because the AD's playing so well at the 5. It's like, do you really want to move him out of the 5? Let's see. I think none just doesn't feel comfortable with the Lakers. He used to be good. I mean, that could be a real possibility. I mean, we've seen lots of guys come to Lakers and then just end up leaving and come back. And then, come to Lakers, be terrible, end up leaving, and then get back to normal. Happens all the time. If Lakers wait until February trade deadline, Lakers will be done by the time we'll stock an 11 seed, 13 seed. I mean, maybe it's possible. It's very possible. Luckily, the beauty of the play-in is that you can be really bad and still make the playoffs. Or you can be really bad during the season and still make the playoffs. Keep flipping out about not making a trade right now. But we're going to get fleeced so hard, rush into a trade. That's my problem too, is that like everyone wants the Lakers to do a trade. And don't get me wrong, I want the Lakers to do a trade too, but I don't want them to do a trade just to do a trade. And the issue is, as soon as the Lakers do a trade, a lot of people that wanted the Lakers to do a trade are all going to say they shouldn't have done that trade. Like, that's exactly what's going to happen. So that's something I'm looking forward to if they do a trade of everybody like, oh, like I can't believe they did that. Let's talk about the Lakers' bad defense. Dennis and Pat Bev can't guard their own shadow. Tired of watching them get cooked every night. Yeah, it's rough right now. It is rough. It is. It's rough. What time is it? All right. We'll go about 10 more minutes, and then I'm going to get out of here. I knew we were standing pat. I mean, I know it's still a lot of time. Still got 2 months before the trade deadline. So, I don't know. Anything could happen. I'd love to see a lineup of LeBron at point, Schroeder at shooting guard, Thomas Bryant, power forward, Lonnie at small forward, Davis at center. I wouldn't mind that when everyone comes back. Yes, please subscribe and let this channel grow. I love this man's content so much. Well, thank you, Tyler. I appreciate you. And you got a great name in Tyler. Love it. Very strong, very powerful name. Very, bright, handsome, just highly intelligent people have the name Tyler. But no, thank you. I appreciate you. And yes, subscribe to the channel, like the video, all that stuff. I'd greatly appreciate it. Trying to grow. We're still small, and we're working our way up. Kings are just a better team, like me. They are right now. Right now they are. They blew up the championship squad on purpose. Non-playoff teams make more money because they don't have to extend players and go over the luxury time. I mean, they get bonuses and all kinds of stuff. Like, they get all kinds of like TV deals and stuff. You actually want to make the playoffs. Lakers front office sucks. Doesn't make any sense. Waving Matt Ryan. when they don't sign anyone or make any trades. I don't really understand the Matt Ryan waiver. I mean, I guess just because a lot of people were like, "Oh, it was so that way his money, or so his money wouldn't be guaranteed." But they didn't. His money isn't guaranteed till like January 12th. So they could have done that at like any point, and it would have been like the same result. But I don't know. I might just start watching college basketball. Would probably be more fun to watch. This garbage. I wanted to become a Kentucky fan anyway. So, yeah, you might want to. This season so far in college has been pretty good. Like everyone's like pretty even. Like there aren't any like dominant powerhouses. Like everyone's kind of losing to everyone, and it's pretty interesting. So yeah. Let's see. Trying to find something to me real quick. Hang on a second. I'm iffy on Ham right now. I think, look, like I said, has he been a perfect coach? No, by all means. Has he made a lot of mistakes? And his obsession and love for Patrick Beverley doesn't make any sense for me at all. But, a coach is only as good as the players that he has, Yes, AD at the 5 opens everything up. Am is really great with the guys, but game night management, not so great. Yeah. He's old, but what do you think of Goran Dragic? I wouldn't mind him at all if we unloaded like some of our guards. ATP, not the phrase. Bone bruise gives me PTSD. I can understand that. If we were to get a vet point guard, I'd want Ricky Rubio. I've always liked Ricky Rubio. I really think Ricky Rubio is solid. Are you there, Ja? It's me, Ross. Sad that we look at 6'6" guys as forward wings. Yeah, it is sad, but it's better than 6'1" guys, right? Better to have that. Coach Schroeder is realistically a 6-man. Yeah, he's better suited off the bench as a 6-man. If we somehow get Halliburton, he's better. Not be benched. He's Westbrook benched yet. Nah, Tyrese is good. What would be the ideal trade that could help the team in your opinion? The Hornets deal, if we could get PJ Washington, might be the best deal. Like if you could get like Terry Rozier, Kelly Oubre, PJ Washington, or just get Kelly Oubre and PJ Washington, that might end up being the best deal that could help us right now. Like ideally, like if we wanted to be like a contender, you need multiple deals. Like if you could turn Russ into like the Spurs or the Hornets deal, and then Bev and Nunn into like Boyan, then you're probably one of, if not the best teams in the league. So that would be my ideal trade, would be like go take Russ and a first for like Kelly Oubre, Terry Rozier and PJ Washington, and then go take the other first and go get Bojan Bogdanovic. That would be like my ideal trade, because then you get basically all the wings you need and you get another scorer shooting. And at that point, Rozier makes sense because you unloaded all of your guards except for Schroeder. So you have like Schroeder and have LeBron play point again. Anyone can shoot with size in the perimeter and also grab rebounds and get paid a bag, a salty guy. Yeah. Yeah, it's the problem. Everyone wants it. If Jeannie's fiance is a racist boy, it's going to be a long night at the wedding reception. If I were Jay, I'd make sure not to go to the bathroom alone. LOL. Yeah, like I said, I don't know. I haven't really looked at the details on it, so I don't really know what was said. The only the headline that I saw, or the thing that I saw somebody post, was Jeannie's fiance, Jay, whatever. Said was caught saying the N-word a bunch of times. So I don't know. He's a comedian, so, and look at guys like Ralphie May. If you ever saw Ralphie May, like things like that. So I don't know what the context was, and I know some people look at it as it doesn't matter what the context is. You can't say it, but I mean, if it was in like a stand-up recording, like I don't know. That comes down to people's opinions and perspectives. But again, I don't know the details, so I don't really want to like go into it and talk about something that I don't know, and then everyone's like, "Oh, how could you say this or do that?" It's like, you know how the internet is. All Ham has to do is stop the 3 and 4 guard lineups. Play two bigs, give Russ starter minutes. We could have won a lot of games. We've lost if Ham did that. Yeah, it might very well be the big case. Sorry, trying to find something towards me. Hang on for a second. They hate us because they ain't us. They hate us because they ain't us. That movie is gold. That was 3-1 league. Good times, man. Missed that 2020. Yeah, back. The Rockets could have given Lakers a scare if Russ and Daniel House weren't coming off injuries early and didn't have COVID. That's true. That's a good point. Dude, a lot of people had Houston beating the Lakers. A lot of people had Houston beating the Lakers. Like, very credible people. The bubble argument is funny because it's based around health. But then they'll all say how we only beat him Miami because they were hurt. People just make up their narrative just to make up their narratives. No lie, I thought the Rockets could win. Daniel House being sent home in that series. The COVID staff played. He killed Houston that year, though. Yeah. Dude, they could have kept it in their pants. And supposedly Jimmy Butler was getting it in with, what's her name? I disagree. Pelicans are sneaky deep and good. Chuck called on TNT, and they've been killing it without either BI, Zion, or CJ because they have all been injured this year. The team will go deeper than expected. I like the Pelicans. I'm still not completely sold on them, but I like the Pelicans. Now, the bubble is also the reason CP3 chose Phoenix over us. Yeah. I talk to Larry Nance daily. No lie, I kind of feel responsible for them being so good. Oh no. Lost my spot. And on. Where were we? There we go. Troy Brown getting distracted off the court. He's got a little honey pot. He's dipping in. Yeah, Rachel Nichols. Thank you. Yes, thank you. And Ingram, Clarkson, Randall, all team would be good, but they still need glue to tie them together. Yeah, they wouldn't be a contender. They'd be fun to watch. They'd be pretty good, but they wouldn't be a contender. And look, at the end of the day, we won a championship. Like I would take that. Like I said, there are still teams that have never even been to the finals. There are teams that have been to that have never even been in like the Western Conference Finals. Like look at teams like the Clippers have been to one Western Conference Finals. The Grizzlies. Think of all the Grizzly, like the good Grizzly teams, like the grit and grind Grizzlies and stuff like that. They've been to one Western Conference Finals. Like that's crazy. Most trades go down at the end of January, start of February. Yes, very true. Very, very true. His legs are gone. It's probably exactly what it is. That's the case. Some guys, they play in LA and they get distracted. Yeah, absolutely. All I'll say about the bubble finals, Jimmy Bucket was dope in losing cause. The man is one of the best playoff performers in basketball. Dude, I love Jimmy Buckets, man. That dude is like, there's no questioning that man's heart. Seriously. Tyler type of person to trade his kids for a case of Dr. Pepper because he can make more kids but doesn't know how to make Dr. Pepper. Facts. You can always make another one. Plus, I got an army of kids, so, give me some good Dr. Pepper. I think Lakers tax is because how AD trade leaked and how Jerry was dirty. The GM is an old boys club. Wes knows everyone, and Pelinka broke a lot of the rules before they had deals done. Yeah, I mean, it's very possible. I mean, they all kind of like rub each other's backs and stuff like that. Dude, TJ Warren was MJ in the bubble. That dude was incredible. That dude was the best player in the league. Tyler talking about how great another Tyler's name is so great is why I love this channel. Thank you. I appreciate it. It is. It's a great name. It's very strong, powerful. Just, that person's going to be somebody. Let me stop. Somebody's going to be like, like to brag about myself, No, like I said, it's real. We're having a good time. We're here having fun. That's what it's all about. That game with Jamal Murray and D Mitch. Oh, that was one of the best games. Like that was a showdown. That was incredible. I love that. What else? As it stands, maybe small, but it's weaving its way into the. Yeah, definitely, slowly but surely. Hey, like I said, I mean, what? How long? I've been doing this for 6 months, something like that. And I mean, I've grown hella fast, in my opinion. I mean, at least I think I have. And yeah, I mean, we'll just keep grinding, we'll keep doing it. Like I said, I'd love to get to the point where like I could do this for a living, just talk to everybody and have fun, and just do this stuff, and hopefully it gets there. Hopefully it gets there because it would be awesome. But nonetheless, I'm enjoying the ride. I'm enjoying the journey. I love these conversations. I love talking to everyone and just having fun and all that stuff. It's cool. It's what it's all about. That's why I do it. I mean, I was doing this anyway. At least now I get like paid through AdSense. At least I'm making something. I was doing this for free anyway. So, Damian Lillard and Jamal Murray in the bubble was like watching the finals. Dude, that was, man. Some of those matchups were incredible. Why is the backspace key so close to the submit key conspiracy? Backs, right? Jay Moore was in Jerry Maguire. Yeah, he's been in a couple things. Like, yeah, I recognized them immediately, but Rich Nichols' bubble MVP she was robbed. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, rip, seriously, rip Ralphie May. Seriously, he was great. I loved Ralphie May. I didn't know Franco Harris passed. I didn't know Franco Harris passed. Remember that Nunn guy Tyler talked up so, but dude, Nunn was great. I don't know what happened. That dude like fell off a cliff. Yeah, I was like super high on Nunn, and I was talking hella shit. Like the worst part is I was talking hella shit after like preseason. I was like, I told you. See, look, woo! Did that age poorly? Look, I've had some good takes. I've had some bad takes. It happens. That's right. Very strong name. Very classy. Incredible. Like when I think of like the name Tyler, I think of a god, just on a pedestal. No one will ever achieve that name. Show me the money. I know, right? Jeannie killed the Russ trade. She really doomed us this year. I should love so many guards. We trade for it. I personally think she made the right call. I really do. I do. I know people disagree, and I know people think that they should have made the trade, but I don't. I'm glad she didn't make that trade. Hopefully they make a trade, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not against them not making that trade. Kendrick gives you none. That was a good one. I like that. That was a good one. Stu is alive. Never that. Never ever that. People hope, people wish. The bubble championship does not count. Sure. Nets killed the win. Dude, they did. They were up like 45 at one point. That was crazy. Crazy. Lone Wolf's just trolling. Lone Wolf trolls my comment section in these live streams all the time. Don't pay them no mind. But anyway, I got to the end of the stream. I'm going to wrap it up for tonight. Thank you all so very much for hanging out with me. As always, I appreciate these conversations. I appreciate these talks. I still want to do like that like channel or whatever. Like we were all talking about that one time where I just like do live streams and we talk about like whatever. And like I was even thinking like making videos and like you guys give me topics. I don't want to talk about religion. I don't want to talk about politics just because it's too much of a headache. And I ain't trying to deal with all the bullshit. But like I wouldn't mind like an open discussion, like where we talk about like whatever, just like, Kanye or whatever, like dumb stuff. And then like you guys give me like things you want to hear my perspective on. And like, maybe I turn that into videos and stuff like that. I would love to do that. So I might end up doing that and kind of putting everything together and like all my channels be like a place for like everyone to come together and we just talk about stuff. So I might do that. Like to start the year. That might be what I was thinking because I was thinking about doing it now, but I was like, oh, let me wait till the new year. But anyway, nonetheless, I'm just kind of rambling here. I appreciate y'all, and yeah, I will talk to y'all in the next one. So have a good night. Peace.